9 Facts about the destruction of the city of Pompeii in Italy. Mount Vesuvius' massive eruption destroyed Pompeii, Herculaneum, and other nearby cities. If they had better technology, they might have realized what was going on and simply fled the scene. Because the unavoidable deaths of thousands of people appear to be so tragic and unjust. But that wasn't the only bad thing about Pompeii's destruction in AD 79. What are the facts about Pompeii's terrible destruction? 1. Residents do receive warnings, they simply do not pay attention to them. Residents of Pompei, an archaeological guide, are in the midst of a multi-day celebration in August. Worse, the day before the eruption, August 23rd, is Volcanalia, the festival honoring the god Vulcan, god of fire and volcanoes. The people of Pompeii were not without warning that Mount Vesuvius was about to erupt because there would be smoke, a small earthquake, or a rumble at the very least if the mountain was about to erupt. This was due to the Volcanalia celebration, in which they interpreted the signs as good omens from the gods rather than warnings to flee. 2. The unusual weather that claimed the lives of many people. Not just because of the festival, but also because of the weather. According to Perspective Weather, the wind was blowing southwest in parts of Italy in August. If this happened during an eruption, the volcano's ash and gas would be blown toward Pompeii. Many people might have survived if the ash and gas had flowed in the usual direction. But on that particular day, the wind was blowing from the northwest, directly towards Pompeii. This means that the volcano's ash and gas clouds are making it difficult for the people of Pompeii to breathe, and many of them are trapped. Pompeii was at bay, and some people attempted to flee by boat. However, the most efficient escape route was precisely hampered by the unusual weather. 3. Their level of fear prior to death. The death of the Pompeians 2,000 years ago is clearly depicted in their skeletal remains. At the time of their deaths, we can clearly see the fear on their faces. When the skeletons of Pompeii were discovered in the early 1800s, archaeologists discovered that they were covered in dense ash. According to Atlas Obscura, the diggers witnessed the victims' final moments of life as they experienced emotions. When the ashes fell, many people gathered together, and several couples hugged each other. A scared 4-year-old boy is also present, as is a baby sleeping on his mother's lap. There were even animal casts, including one of a dog that wriggled, twisted, in pain. However, modern technology can delve even deeper into this data. According to Seeker, many skeletons were CAT-scanned in 2015. That is, they were successfully identified based on the victim's age, gender, and health details at the time. Researching these victims was very moving. I felt like I was dealing with real patients, said the chief radiologist. 4. The eyewitness to Pompeii's tragedy. Pliny the Younger is the only eyewitness to the Pompeii tragedy. Pliny was 18 years old and living across the bay in Misenum when the eruption occurred, according to Eyewitness to History. Pliny's uncle, a powerful man, traveled to Pompeii to help the victims. Pliny and his mother were forced to flee their city. They had to leave their home because the earthquake had rendered it unsafe. Many people were terrified, and some spread false rumors that Misenum had caught fire. Uncle Pliny died in Pompeii, having been unable to save anyone, including himself. 5. Horrible deaths occurred in neighboring towns. Historians are still unsure how the people of Pompeii died. Most people accepted that they had been hit by ash and gas, or that they had been crushed by the rubble of a collapsed building. According to National Geographic, pyroclastic events may have occurred in the cities of Herculaneum and Naples. It is a 50-mile-per-hour traveling mixture of ash, clumps of lava, and noxious gases that reaches temperatures of 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit. According to science, such high heat causes a person's body, including their brain, to boil and burn instantly. That means their heads are going to blow up. All of their soft tissue will evaporate in 10 minutes. There is ample evidence that this occurred to a large number of victims at Herculaneum and Naples, and it became a widely accepted hypothesis, until a large study published in 2018 confirmed that hypothesis. 6. The art of Pompeii had to be censored. Pompeii's sole ruin has been preserved in incredible condition. It has been indestructible for 2,000 years under airtight compressed ash. According to the Telegraph, the Pompeian family's possessions included a schlong-shaped oil lamp and a statue of the fertility god Priapus. When the British Museum put on a Pompeii exhibition, they warned parents about the Pan statue on display. Pompeii was lost to history until workers dug an underground canal in 1599, according to Casa Scola. In the 1800s, excavations began in earnest. The most obscene items were moved to Naples' secret museum, where only adults were permitted to view them. 7. A major disaster is likely to occur again. The volcano that destroyed Pompeii is still regarded as the most dangerous in the world. Mount Vesuvius erupted in AD 79, but it was not the most devastating eruption. Because it erupted in 1631 as well. The reason for this is that the main area at the bottom is real estate. 6 million people live near Vesuvius, including Naples, which is about 12 miles away, and according to Volcano Discovery, 3 million of them are in grave danger if the volcano erupts violently again. Vesuvius, unlike some volcanoes, does not have minor warning eruptions before a major one. Vesuvius kept his cool for a while before unleashing a massive explosion. It also has a much faster eruption timescale than other volcanoes, which means that even though it last erupted in 1944, it could erupt again at any time. Some supervolcanoes are even regarded as less dangerous than Vesuvius. If there is another eruption, the Italian government has plans in place. At least 600,000 people will be evacuated from the immediate danger zone on the volcano's lower slopes. 8. The world's slowly fading wonder. Perhaps the worst thing that happened to Pompeii after the eruption was that it was not properly cared for. The Italian government declared a state of emergency in Pompeii in 2008, according to The Guardian, because the historic site was in disrepair. The condition is ignored because the area is infested with illegal traders, loggers, and imposters. In addition, the still buried site is being used as an illegal dumping ground. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is deteriorating. In some ways, frescoes and rock, which have been around for nearly 2,000 years, are deteriorating at an alarming rate, with thousands of pieces being lost each year. Furthermore, the restoration work has not been completed since 1978. 9. Investigating 2,000-year-old nonsense. According to National Geographic, 10 tons of feces were excavated from the bells beneath Herculaneum in 2011. This was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and historians could learn a lot from it. Sifting ancient Roman feces through various levels of sieves to remove large and small objects was part of the study. Despite the fact that it sounds disgusting, it doesn't smell like dirt, possibly because it's been so long, and it looks exactly like compost. They were able to learn about the food people ate in Herculaneum by analyzing the dung. They appear to be all very healthy, with a diet rich in seafood and fruit. Some researchers had to examine the feces under a microscope for signs of diseases that the inhabitants may have had at the time. Volcanic eruptions are always accompanied by disaster and sadness. What happened in Pompeii was no exception. However, this tragedy has become history and a lesson for us to learn from today.